When firefighters saw beachgoers staring at their phones, they knew they had to intervene. It's the middle of summer in Sweden, and you're enjoying a sunny day at the beach. Those around you are topping up their tans or frolicking in the water. Yet your eyes are glued to your cell phone. You're so absorbed in the device, in fact, that you barely notice when a firefighter appears out of nowhere and snatches it from your grasp. This is confusing at first. It's not a crime to play with your phone on the beach after all. But what the man tells you next teaches you a very important lesson. This very situation occurred in real life in July 2018. The firefighters involved were from the Södra Älvsborg Rescue Service Association. And armed with a camera, members of this Swedish aid-giving organization visited one of the beaches in their homeland. It was then that two firefighters took center stage and made their next moves. This, of course, all links in with the wider mobile phone usage in today's society. It should be surprising to no one that the handheld devices are incredibly prevalent, yet these statistics can make for concerning reading. For instance, the Statista website compiled some eye-opening figures when studying the growth in cell phone users around the world. First of all, Statista discovered that about 6.8 billion people used mobile devices in 2019. The website then projected a major rise in users over the next 4 years, with the 2023 figure predicted to be 7.33 billion. So in the simplest of terms, the majority of the world's population has access to mobile phones and devices. In May 2019, the National Conference of State Legislatures, otherwise known as the NCSL, released some interesting information on this matter. According to the organization, governing bodies have banned drivers from using any kind of handheld device in 20 American states, including the likes of California and Arizona. And that's not all. A total of 48 states have also barred motorists from texting behind the wheel. Missouri is one of the 2 locations where this ban hasn't taken full effect, but the state does have a similar law in place for novice drivers. As it turns out, people in Missouri are not allowed to send messages on the road if they're younger than 21. Smith told the website, "It's unlikely that a mobile phone can cause problems in the cockpit, particularly on modern aircraft where components are, by design, carefully shielded, but it's not impossible. I'd guess at least half of all phones, whether inadvertently or out of laziness, are left on during flight. That's about 1 million phones a day in the United States," Smith continued. "If indeed this was a recipe for disaster, I'd think we'd have more evidence by now." The pilot then touched upon the biggest reason for the cell phone ban, and the explanation could surprise you. That view was echoed by a pilot named Chris Foster, who made it clear that mobile devices shouldn't be seen as a danger today. Yet he stated that the myth had previously held some weight due to past technology. To explain more, Foster had a chat with the Liverpool Echo in March 2017. Foster said, "In reality, it's nothing to be concerned about. Aircraft control systems are so sophisticated now that cell phones wouldn't cause any interference. The regulations date back many years to when we didn't have things like iPads. The laws are starting to be relaxed, and I think we'll see more changes over the next few years." Mobile phones are not designed and certified for use in explosive atmospheres, which exist temporarily around the pump and nozzle during refueling, the Post read, as well as around the fill and vent pipes during petrol deliveries. Whilst the risk of incentive sparking from mobile phones is low, they're not intrinsically safe devices and shouldn't be used in these hazardous areas. Yet, while these aforementioned warnings are mostly well known to the population, the Södra Älvsborg Rescue Service Association delivered a perhaps more obscure one in the summer of 2018. As we revealed earlier, the organization wanted to make an important point to parents on beaches and other public spaces. And to do that, the Swedish crew compiled a short video for its Facebook page. As this happens, the other firefighter leans down next to the woman and points to the kids in the distance. Although we can't hear the conversation, the message seems fairly clear. Following this encounter, the pair move on to their next target, who's sitting on an embankment with their mobile device. Then we transition to a shot of one firefighter putting the stolen phones into his fanny pack ahead of zipping it up. After this, the video comes to an end. If you're still not sure what we're getting at, the Södra Älvsborg Rescue Service Association cleared things up in the accompanying Facebook post. The translated message read, "Let your mobile rest on the beach. Give bathing children your full attention this summer." The emergency services warning appeared to resonate on social media too, as a huge number of users came together to watch the firefighters in action. Indeed, the video quickly went viral. The Södra Älvsborg Rescue Service Association's post earned about 1 million views on Facebook. The clip also racked up more than 2,400 likes and about 8,500 shares. And that's not all. To round things off, the video generated over 250 comments from social media users. When that happened, the quartet struggled to contend with the waves. This prompted an onlooker to go after them. In the end, though, the woman was only able to grab one of the children and pull them to safety. She unfortunately couldn't reach the other three, who sadly drowned in the water. It's perhaps unsurprising then that the Södra Älvsborg Rescue Service Association's video continued to circle online long after it had been posted. In turn, more parents were being informed of the firefighters' warning. A Facebook page named Incy Notes also shared an article about the clip in June 2019, which itself generated a big response. Those words were echoed by a fellow Facebook user in the comment section, who also made an additional point. In their mind, parents must ensure that their children are in sight at all times, especially when they're out and about. But the person's thoughts didn't end there, as we're about to discover. The social media user wrote, "I completely agree with this message. Very powerful stuff." The beach isn't the only place either. Anywhere your children are where they need to be supervised and the parent or caregiver isn't paying attention is a good place for a phone to be taken away. The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories, jojostories.com.